Oh, Prince Charles fights global warming. Oh, look, here he is, doing a speech as a hologram to lower his carbon footprint. Help me, Obi-Wan. You're our only hope. This brings us to today's Inconvenient segment as we glimpse into Chapter 1 of an Inconvenient book on global warming. But honestly, with the economy at the top of the news today, it fits perfectly, and let me tell you how. The EPA has just released a cost-benefit analysis of one particular global warming bill that has been thrown around. This bill is from New Mexico Senator Jeff Bingaman. His plan is not Al Gore crazy. It is thought of really as less radical than the Democratic candidates' ideas or even the plan from John McCain. What does it do? Well, not a lot. What does it cost? Oh, that's a different story. The EPA estimates that by 2050, it will cost our GDP, get this, between $400 billion and $1.2 trillion every year. But even at this high cost, at least it solves our global warming problems, right? No. I want to show you a graph. The red line that you can barely see peeking out at the top measures the carbon dioxide if we do absolutely nothing. The line below measures the effect if the Bingaman plan is successfully implemented and actually followed under several different versions. Get the point? Gosh, it looks like one line there, doesn't it? The difference is almost undetectable by 2050, at which point, I remind you, it will be costing between $400 billion and $1.2 trillion every year. If you zoom all the way to the end of the century, the effects are still basically non-existent, and imagine what it would cost then. Even in a fairy tale scenario of almost every other major country playing along, we are still at CO2 levels that are around 30% higher than the supposed climate crisis that we're already in. Now back to the cost. Inflation affects those numbers, but the point still stands. This would eventually cost between $400 billion and $1.2 trillion. Right now, we're negotiating an economic stimulus package of $145 billion. If giving 145 billion people would stimulate the economy, what happens to the economy when we take out $1.2 trillion? This is what I talk about in an Inconvenient book. Solutions that you hear about are just stupid, and they cost us a fortune. They cost a fortune and do nothing but make you feel better about yourself. May I remind you of Prince Charles? You can hologram yourself right now to the bookstore and get a copy of an Inconvenient book, or go to glennbeck.com. From New York, good night, America.